What's up, everybody? I'm Mongoose. You are awesome, and this is episode 8 of Myths from Monolith. If you don't know what this series is, fans submit lore that they wrote, I read it and make a little video with some background footage, and it's a good time. So let's get into today's story about Aurora. I'm calling today's story The Price of Power, and it's an Aurora story by Human Muerto. Too many of my foes have called me a monster, and sometimes I too think they speak the truth. Ever since I turned my back on Mother Magus, I've felt so much hatred towards everything. Ever since I took the offer from that woman. That day I went to see the coronation of the new queen. She was so beautiful in that pure white dress that I wanted nothing more than to wear it myself. On the way back from the coronation, I thought I was being followed, but every time I turned around, that feeling disappeared, only to come back ever so slightly the moment I started walking again. I was at the point of bursting. I took a turn into the alleyway and kept walking. Once I was far enough from the main passageways, I stopped and confronted whatever was stalking me. "Follow me any further and you will meet your end," I said boldly. "No need to worry, little lady," said a voice only several feet behind me. I spun and reached for my blade, but the direction of the voice came from was nothing but a wall. And then I heard it again from behind me. "Your footwork reminds me of a comrade I often head into battle with." This time I spun so quickly I nearly lost my footing. "Maybe not," she said, somewhat disappointed. There in front of me stood a rather tall and slender woman. "Mind telling me their names so I know who to kill after you?" I said. "That fire in your eyes, it reminds me of his. Strong, ferocious, and on the verge of dying." She caught me off guard. What did she mean dying? Who was this comrade? "What would you say if I told you I can help? Make you stronger?" she said confidently. "Nonsense. You stalk me into an alleyway and offer a demon's deal. What kind of fool do you think I am?" I replied. "No fool. I simply saw you and was reminded of a comrade. That alone made me want to help you. You see, he was a truly wonderful friend and greater fighter. But time passed, and he lost himself." She was beginning to seem distressed. I stood there waiting for her to make a move, and she went on. "He recently lost a duel against one of higher rank that cost him his arm. We could easily reattach it, however, the punishment for the loss was to forfeit his arm." She reached out as if she were to grab something from thin air, and she did. A wooden box. I couldn't tell if it held a weapon or nothing at all. I just stood there. "I kept this arm because I couldn't let it go to waste," she said with a lewd expression on her face. "Disgusting." I said what I thought out loud without noticing. "I don't blame you for thinking that, but if you witnessed his power, saw what he could do with his touch, you would crave his power too. The power over life itself," she said. "And how do I remind you of him?" I nearly yelled. "Didn't I say already? Though I doubt you can use the full potential of his power, I can sense that you would be perfect for a portion of it. I saw how you looked at the queen, that jealousy in your eyes," she said. "What are you talking about? I hold no jealousy." I was growing impatient. "What if you could build your own throne? One of ice?" She stopped there. For what felt like hours, she stood there with that grin on her face. "Don't worry, it won't cost you a thing." Her grin grew. I felt myself wavering. I couldn't believe I was tempted by such nonsense. "He could not have his arm reattached, but another could," she said. "Nonsense! How could a man's arm be attached to a woman? It'll be a deformity," I said, trying to convince myself more than her. "No need to worry. Once attached, this arm will take the form of your own arm," she said. Before I knew it, I was nodding. She started walking and I stood there frozen. As she neared, she spoke words I didn't understand. Then my mind began to fade. "Don't worry, nothing bad will happen. After all, I am trusting you with a great treasure," she said with a victorious grin. I woke up in the same hallway, only to find no one was there but me, and the new scars on my right arm. I checked and checked, but it truly was my arm. But it was cold. Ever since that day, I've grown cruel, hateful. I've taken so much life. I want to blame it on that woman and that deal. But was that real? I don't know. Hope you enjoyed today's story. I know I did. If you did, Glacial charge that like button for me. Subscribe by clicking on that little mongoose that will be appearing at the bottom right hand side of your screen. If you want to submit your own story for the series, check out the video description below. You can email it to mongoosegg@gmail.com or tweet it at mongoosegg if it's in a Google Docs link format. But for now, this is Mongoose signing off. You guys have a good one. Mangoose!